A hearty good day to everyone. You're probably wondering what are all those photographs about. Well, I had the distinct pleasure yesterday of looking through some albums. You know, nowadays people don't really keep albums. Everything is digital now. And what you don't like, you just delete. But I found it a great joy yesterday to be looking through this album, scanning it, finding different things. Oh, yes. Here's one that I really enjoyed. The headline has been eroded, of course, but it said, "Wedding bells ring out for our Lance and Louise." And you probably wonder how they use the expression for our Lance and Louise, the word our. At the time I was at the Express, and my friends there on the sub desk, they got this photograph, and they decided to make a big do out of it. Don't I look smart, and doesn't my wife look gorgeous? And to the right there, you could barely discern my mother, and behind and in front of her, one of Louise's nieces, and to the left, that would have been Ambrose Carrington, perhaps holding Gerald Carrington. And these are all grown now, and Ambrose is gone, but we remember him fondly. So it was a joy really going through these albums. And I was surprised when I came upon these photographs. And to tell you the truth, I kind of regretted that I had not found them earlier. These photographs really depict Lasana's drive to build a home in Coral. For instance, on this one here, my sister Claudia is seated, Louise is next, and Louise is in the middle, and next to Louise is Lasana. Now, this piece of land was given to us by my father back in 1987, I believe it is. At the time, my dad, when Lasana in the mid-90s decided to build his home here, my dad had already passed on. But you know, I never really paid attention to the effort Lasana made as a young man, looking towards marriage and wanting a home of his own. And yesterday when I saw these photographs, I felt badly about it, that I had never really complimented him on his efforts to provide a home for his future family. So I have spread out here some photographs that indicate his drive. Those to the left I'll come back to in a while. These here are photos showing the excavation of the land, how it was cut at the time, the trees in the back there, what the house would eventually look like from the roadway. And there of course is some of the workmen. We have Lasana here with his brush cutter or still machine and about to do a job of cleaning up. A very athletic. I'm glad that he's back in the gym with Lyndon so he could tone up those muscles. And now we go across here and we see the backhoe is also shaping up. Down here he's sitting on a pile of blocks. And there he is, very pensive. There were 11 of us in that house at one time, plus mother and father, 13. And then gradually they all left, leaving me and my mom and dad alone. And I remember that, you know, mother said, "Lance, Louise, which piece of land would you like to have?" And we said, okay, the one that son-in-law occupies, of course. And she said, okay, I will talk to the old man about it. And she did. She spoke to him about it, and he graciously gave it to us, and we passed it on to Lasana because he was going to enter into marriage. And here's a profile of what his currently his kitchen area would look like. And there is Uncle Lucas. Uncle Lucas was a great one for supporting Lasana. And perhaps he supported him more emotionally than anything else. Lucas was a good brother-in-law for me. To me, he was a really good brother-in-law to me. I miss him because he was kind, he was generous. He worked with Cannons at one time, and then he went into his own business. Oh yes, man, Lucas was a great guy. Let's go up here now and see what happens up here. These are the guys working here, as I said before. This is a layout of the front. They marked it off. Maybe with this area here would be currently where the soakaway would be. Another area showing the area there. A lot of work went in for this young man's drive to have a home. Here we have TN-Tech. In those days, like I said, it's in the mid-90s. TN-Tech, and they're probably going to be, getting some current into that place. And here he is consulting. I'm a little stuck here now. Let's see if I can unravel this here. Okay. And that's me on the right side there. In those days I played some tennis, but I still didn't look as fit as I should have. Lyndon next to him there, Lasana in the middle, Louise, and of course Ian, my son-in-law. A happy bunch. We come down here now to one of the workmen in the trench there. Here's Lasana gauging the day's work. Maybe I showed you this part already. Yes, I did. And here we have TN-Tech making a connection here again. Oh yes, connection. Lasana Consulting. In the blocks. Now this area here shows Lasana when he worked with NP on one of the vessels, and it was he would better be able to explain this, but he worked at NP at one time, and he was attached to the galley. He was an assistant cook, and that's why Lasana loves cooking so. Here, where is it? Okay, I'm going to move to the right here now. That's another section of the house. And there's an old bucket there showing. He probably still has that bucket. If I know Sana, he hasn't thrown it away. Lasana did a stint also at the hotel school in Chaguaramas, hotel management. And here he is. Mr. Sutton is on his left there, or the right of the picture. And Lasana is a cook by all means. He loves cooking. Lisa's in the background there, and I believe that could very well be little Sarah. We have Ermin, we have Ineda. So, this, my friends, I'll tell you the purpose of why I'm doing this in a little while. Here he is in the galley. I can't recall the name of that workman there. And here's a picture of Lasana. And as I said, back to there. So my friends, the purpose of this is that when a young man is going into marriage, I believe that one of the things a young man would look forward to, he would look forward to having a home. Lasana did 100% better than I did, actually. Louis was the drive behind getting a place for us. When we got married in 1971, Louise went through the papers, checking out homes, available rental places, and she really came up with a place in St. Anne's area there, Hutton Road, as a matter of fact. And we had a wonderful shopkeeper called Ping. He was just on the main road there, outside of Sydenham Avenue. And in those days, I believe that we paid for a 2-bedroom, kitchen area, porch, a whole yard for ourselves, must be about $132 a month. I don't know, you can find that anywhere nowadays. But you know, Louise has always been a great drive. I believe that Lasana has inherited a lot of her drive. And Lyndon, of course. Lyndon went on to occupy that piece of land behind Lasana there. It was granted from one of my sisters to Lieber, and Lieber passed it on, of course, being in the work, being a missionary. He passed it on to Lyndon. Lisa also has a home. So I want to thank the Lord openly that my children have really desired to go into marriage securing a nest for themselves. I feel a little hurt for those who are unable to acquire their own homes at this time. It's prices are really exorbitant. Prices are way beyond the reach. I mean, when Louis and I bought into Beaulieu Avenue here, our combined salaries helped us with the down payment. But nowadays, you have to be working for a lot of money if you're ever going to make a headway. And I mean, nobody wants to rent forever. But such is life, and I just, you want that marriages will work. Marriages will work for the best deal for the children. So I want to openly compliment my son. I don't know if I have done it enough, but I really want to openly compliment my son for the drive he had to have a nest for his sons and a nest for his daughters. Good old Lucas, good old Lucas. Last week I went down to St. Augustine, and while I was waiting on Louise there to collect some blood test results, this woman came out of a car, and she was a very, I wouldn't say, she was a very quiet looking woman. And she walked up and she said, "Are you Lance Batiste?" And I said, "Yes." And she asked about Louise, and I said, "She's inside." And she says, "We follow your channel." Sorry, I follow your channel. This woman had such a wonderful, quiet spirit. I said to Louise afterwards, "Did you meet Mala?" And she said, "Yes. As I came out through the door, you must have indicated that I am Louise." And she was such a gentle, gentle woman. I want to call her name again. It's Mala of St. Helena. Miss Mala, I really appreciate your quiet spirit. You have such a gentle spirit. I am sure you are a boost to your home. I will also like to call out some names who, I probably have the same problem like Lasana. I can't remember names, but he does pretty good. I want to thank Betty Gangadine and Betty Baker, Carol B., Anastasia Lopez. I wonder if this Anastasia Lopez could be related to me or to the Lopez family from Tamana. Because my grandfather, on my dad's side, my paternal grandfather, he was a Lopez from Tamana. Then we have Sunita Nimai, Sukram Serju. Oh yes, these people are very helpful, they're very encouraging. Maxim Narain, Salaka Ali Ibrahim, Usha Johnson. I wish I could call so many names off the top of my head without having to write them down and miss the whole show of it all. But once again, if you have children out there and you have sons who perhaps, trying to make a nest for their home, for their family, encourage them. Encourage them to do the right thing, because it's wonderful to grow up in a location, in a family that has love and tenderness and beauty. And we urge you out there, really, to love your family, to take care, to bring no disrepute on any and work together in harmony. And then one day, like the TNTech crew, that current of love will flow into the home. It will energize the future. I'm really glad that I could pinpoint in Lasana's life that he has done a wonderful job. He did far better than his old man. But I am glad for the help of Louise. And my dear sister Claudia. Oh, I miss Claudia. Claudia lived just across the hill where Frank Morrison now occupies that home. And Claudia was a real treat, a real selfless woman. She did a lot for her husband and their home. She was the one who would, manage the affairs and where is he? And Lucas here. Lucas was a cheerful husband, cheerful, helpful husband. Always there, always willing. I hope his daughters, Valerie and Elizabeth, might see this video and might remember him. I'm sure they do otherwise. So my dear children, thank you very much for the strength you have derived from the Lord to press on and to do good. So once again, wedding bells ring out for our Lance and Louise, and we just want that marriages will work. We're in the process perhaps of trying to get some jerseys printed. I wouldn't tell you what the jerseys might have written on them, but of course they will have to do with marriage. They will border on marriage. And if you feel interested when it's done, the printer has promised by the middle of the week. And if you feel that you would like to perhaps purchase this, something can be arranged. And let's show the world that marriages can work. Bye-bye, my friends, and do take care. Have a wonderful weekend.